with help. All that's needed is fellowship, a mutual sharing with another person like yourself, like unto like, helping others, thereby helping ourselves. Well, following Abby's visit, Bill did go to a meeting, and I think it was the very next day that he entered the hospital for that last time, and it was then that he had the spiritual awakening I mentioned earlier, and it was then that he decided to join the OGs. Well, as his wife, of course, I joined too. Well, in order to show all those people that Bill had my support. I didn't need it. It was all for Bill. What else? Always for Bill. In a sense, that was my identity. Then along came that shoe. Oh, there I go again. I'm sorry. Let me tell you about the shoe. Well, I tagged along with Bill for about 2 years to those Oxford group meetings. More often than not, they were held way over in Manhattan at Sam Shoemaker's Calvary Mission. Many a night after work, tired or not, I would go with Bill to a meeting. Well, it was an obligation. I certainly didn't need those meetings. No, I was perfect. It was all for Bill. Oh, well, at first, yes, it was exciting. But then Bill got better and I got bored. Tired and bored. I didn't participate in those meetings. I just sat there and watched. All got rather stale for me. You see, perfect people have little or nothing to recover from, or so I thought at the time. Then along came that shoe. One night, I got home from work a little behind schedule. I don't know, something or other held me up and I was late. I was tired. Bill was waiting impatiently, as it turned out. Well, we had a quick supper and I went off to change, taking my time, as some people do. And Bill's impatience grew and grew, and finally he yelled at me, "Hurry up! We're already late as it is." Well, that was the straw that broke this camel's back. I snapped. I threw my shoe at him, and I shouted, "Damn you, and damn your meetings." Oh dear, do you know, I think that was the initial birth pang of the family groups. Well, in spirit, if not in reality. I wrote something about that. Let me see. I'm sure it's here. Yes, here it is. Here are my notes. This burst of anger surprised me even more than Bill. I had lost my temper with Bill often, especially when he drank. Well, it was expected. But why now, with things so well beyond my expectations? Well, later at the meeting, I spoke about it to a friend. I asked for guidance. I reached out to another person. I became less than perfect. And she helped me to realize that although I had been active in the group, and I tried to help, I still had not placed myself totally in God's hands. I was trying to do it all by myself. I wasn't just perfect. I was a saint. A living saint. Oh dear. A saint without a sinner. Well, when Bill's dependence on alcohol grew, I wasn't that concerned. It came with the territory. Well, his associates drank, some worse than Bill. Well, take Abby, for example. But I wasn't the least bit bothered. You see, I knew if things got out of hand, I could change Bill. I had the power. I would be his inspiration for change. But as it turned out over the years, Bill got worse. My inspiring personality had no effect. I prayed for help, but I never submitted my will to God. I never gave up the power. Well, it was a great blow for me to realize he didn't need me as he had in the past. My fundamental purpose in being was canceled out with his sobriety. He did it all without me, and I resented it. Others, not me, had done it. Others, not me, not the saint, had done it. And you know they didn't need my help? Oh, what a blow. Here, what made it worse was the fact that I hadn't found anything to take its place. Oh, sure, I attended the Oxford group meetings, always as Bill's quiet, supportive wife. I didn't need it, he did. Hence that shoe. I deeply resented the fact that God in others had taken away my definition of self, that of Bill's savior. Oh, I deeply resented Bill's new friends, the fact that they, not me, not St. Lois, had done the job. And most of them were just a nameless bunch of drunks. Well, slowly, a bit at a time, the important roles I played had been removed. You see, he no longer needed me as a mother, a nurse, breadwinner, decision-maker, enabler, and oftentimes, with relish, long-suffering wife. Well, some of the roles I played were doubly important to me. We were childless, so playing mother to Bill was a strong substitute. Being breadwinner, oh, that was a tremendous ego builder. Also, I liked being needed. And that was gone. All gone. My smug self-righteousness in believing that I was all that a wife could be, all that Bill would ever need, that was all gone. I know now that my attitude was sinful. Well, yes, a sin. Well, it was impregnable. Nothing can pierce the heart of a self-righteous soul. No, it keeps us apart from the rest of humanity. Nothing can pierce that soul except the light and truth of God's grace. So after the shoe incident at the meeting that night, and sharing it with another, I walked under that light. I had begun to work the program for myself and God. In the brief span of time it took that shoe to travel across the room, God set in motion my eventual release from sainthood, returned me to myself and to God. Well, I have come to believe that whatever deeds we do from our own resources, no matter how well-intentioned, will fall short. To do good, we need to first find God's plan, and then, with His help, carry out to the very best of our ability that plan. You know, ever since then I've tried to take a daily inventory, and I've tried to be honest. Well, here, analyzing my thoughts and feelings as objectively as possible. It's too easy to fool ourselves. Rationalizing motives is hard to overcome. But it does come through God's unlimited love. One need only place oneself a day at a time under the light of that love. Oh, keeping in mind this simple truth: every saint has a past, and every sinner a future. Oh, those early years, they were wonderfully frenetic. There was a frenzied activity on the part of all of us involved, drunks and their wives, to carry the message to a waiting world. Well, the message had to be carried. You see, our only means of contact with people who made inquiries was to make personal visits. Oh, yes, in time we did get some press coverage, but mostly our work was carried by word of mouth. And then, through contact with the Rockefeller Foundation, the idea of a book was born. We managed to raise enough money to start our own publishing company. Everybody pitched in.